Good day, good morning, and good evening, Commanders. So, WARNO just dropped an update, as you just saw, literally a couple of minutes ago, and I am actually super excited. I haven't read the patch notes. But I booted up the game just to see like what's going on. Uh, and the first thing that I see is that all of my battle groups are gone. Yeah, so there's that. But on the bright side of things, look what you can do now. You see this? You can double vet in the hangar, which I think is like super cool. Like now you can compare actual like veterancy. Now you can compare actual like veterancy to units so that it's fair, you know? And I think this is a great change personally. But I'm not gonna keep you waiting. Let's get immediately into the patch notes. As a side effect of our work on the black screen issue, some graphic options were reset to their default values. So I'm not sure, but this might mean that the black screen issue has been fixed. Although, again, I'm not sure. We're gonna have to see. Only time will tell. Introduce the new militia trait to better distinguish between trained reservist units and freshly enlisted militia. Militia units take longer to aim and reload compared to regular units. Rework the reservist trait to reduce its penalties. Reservist units have reduced weapon accuracy and take more suppression in combat. So this is the militia and reservist trait that we were talking about. This is the reservist and militia trait that we were talking about pretty long time ago. The change that we knew was going to happen. So as you can see here, we've got some that are reservist, and then you've also got some who are militia. I'm just not sure here. Let me search by role, or rather trait. My bad. No, militia. There we go. Okay, so you have militia and you have reservists. So these guys are militia. Oh, and they're reservist. Okay, so they're militia and they're reservist. Okay. Yeah, and as you can see here, so there are some that get both the reservist and the militia trait, and there are some that that just get the militia trait. Um, yeah, okay. And so unit composed of law enforcement, civilians, or paramilitary personnel raised to active duty to support a nation's regular military. Well trained, they typically lack frontline combat experience or instruction in heavy weaponry and regiment and equipment. Okay. All right. So Omen is now available for 1v1 battles. Omen is now available for 1v1 battles. Let's take a look here, just how Omen looks like. Let's go to solo actually. Uh, Omen. Omen Duel. Okay, so pretty sure this is the map that they said is pretty yeah, this is the map that they said is like equal apparently. Um or something like that, or it might be a different one. So we've got so it's gonna be played at an angle probably. Yeah, Dimitri, Boris, Gregory, I'd say they're like your front line. Then you've got this zone canceling out this zone, this one canceling out this one canceling out this one. So it's like yeah. So it is placed per like a bit angled, but what can you do, I guess. I suppose this is like red zone, this is like blue zone, and then this is like the middle fight. Okay, it looks like an pretty interesting map. Of course, I'll have to develop like a meta for it, and then also have to do a map analysis for it on top of the maps that I haven't already done. Um, but yeah, I mean, it looks like a pretty interesting map. I'll definitely be playing it. Alright, let's get back into the patch notes here. uh, Fixed spawn zones that were previously fixed per camp, causing NATO or Pact to always spawn on the same side of the map. Spawns are now randomized again. Okay, so okay, that's nice. That's nice. Apparently, NATO or Pact were always spawning on the same side. Yeah, like I remember when I was trying to test something, and I would be like Pact, and I would load up like 20 games in a row trying to play specifically as Pact on a specific side. It wouldn't allow me. I would just get like the same side 20 times over. But they fixed that, so that's good. Special symbols are no longer interpreted in lobbies and player names. Okay. Um, alright, I don't really. That's fine. That doesn't affect me. I don't use any special symbols. IFV autocannons, big change here. Reduced effective range, decreased accuracy, slightly reduced area of effect, and suppression capability. So let's take a look here. If we search up like BMP2 or something, uh, I mean, oh, aha. Okay, because it's a generic BMP2, it doesn't allow you to vet it because it's generic. So like it could be paired up with any one of these infantry squads apparently. I'm not sure. Let's boot up like 27Y here or something. Alright. And you have the BMP2. And on double vet, which you usually take them. Of course, in order to in order for you to like see the actual difference. Oh, this is different. This tank gun is different. I know something changed here. Um but in order for you to like actually see the changes, you're gonna have to like experience them firsthand. Um But let's go back here into the patch notes. Right. So IFVs apparently got nerfed. Um, but we'll have to see in an actual game, and we'll see how big this changes. IFV ATGMs increased reload time between salvos. So the big offender here is probably the Bradley, which absolutely should be the big offender. But the Bradley has these, as you can see here, two ATGMs, so he has a salvo length of two. And that's why Bradleys like are really good at ADGM fighting. Of course, unless they're facing like a BMP3. But technically, now the Bradley can fire a shot. BMP3 fires a shot, but then then the Bradley smokes and then peeks out again. And then the BMP3 is stuck reloading for 12 seconds, and the Bradley can immediately fire. So the Bradley has that advantageous 2 salvo length of any one of its ADGMs, which make it like really good at ADGM fighting. Obviously, not against missiles that are like 30 times faster than it. Okay. AA gun added a minimum range for AA guns, so this is apparently like the AA gun and nerf that they were talking about. It is unfortunate that they didn't like take that they didn't want to accept like the proposal that was made on their Discord. Unfortunately, they had their own reason. I know that they said their own reason. If you don't know what was the proposal, I'll put it up on screen right now. Probably like here somewhere. Basically, it was said in like a massive amount of the community. I'm pretty sure like we set a record for most liked post in the Asian feedback channel. Unfortunately, it was not accepted. They had a different vision for AA autocannons, which is completely fine. But I think that when like that big of a movement comes up in the community, I think it definitely shouldn't be overlooked as fast as it was. But what can you do? They added a minimum range for AA guns. Should be good enough for that for now. We'll see in the future. First thing I see here though is like I immediately think it's over. The LAV is 80 points. Like this is really weird. Uh like I do think it should come down, but I think it came down a bit like too much. I mean, I don't know. I think with 80 points, this makes it comparable to the Fox, whilst being like 70 million times better. If you take a look at the LAV and you take a look at the Fox, I mean, look at this. Okay, now the LAV is, of course, the LAV is one vetted on. Yeah, the LAV is one vetted because. Yeah, okay, there we go. I mean, if you take a look at it, for 10 now more points, you're getting one more armor and you're getting an infinitely better autocannon that just deals less HE damage but has more penetration and a lot more accuracy. Of course, you're a bit slower, but that generally, you get another machine gun and you get another point of front armor, which is a big deal in autocannon fights. So I think whilst being a good step in the right direction, I think it was a little bit blown out of proportion. The LAV I think should not be priced at 80 points, but what can you do? Command M1 Abrams CP decreased 250 to 240. Uh, So this one here in 24th and 8th. So 8th and 24th, 24th now technically should be a better division than it was. I'm not sure if it's to the effect that some of my friends thought it was gonna be. Some people thought that 24th is gonna be like mega OP now. I don't think that's still the case. But hey, I mean, I'm not sure. We're gonna have to test it out. We're gonna have to play it, and we'll have to see. But yeah, apparently this guy got reduced in price. All right, let's get back into the patch notes here. The M60 Rise CP decreased 120 to 110. Speed increased. Okay. So this is for ninth moto, if I'm not mistaken, or for no. It's for 35th. Yeah, it's for 35th. So the Santa Fe division. This is for 35th. Um, well, yeah, they decreased its price. You could say technically it was a bit overpriced, although I think now it's like, let's take a look here at the T55 AK. I mean, comparable stats. You could say comparable stats. Why is this one 95 point? Ah, because it's reserved. You could say comparable stats, yeah. But the T55 AK is resolute and the M60 gets smoke. So, for 10 more points, you get more smoke, you get frontal armor, you get a lot better reload time, and you're getting a lot more accuracy. But, what can you do? Did they nerf the T55s though? I don't think they did. No, it doesn't look like it. And it doesn't look like they changed the Meridas. The Meridas are the same, unfortunately, which is it is unfortunate. Uh, right, okay. Rise speed increased 40 to 45, which is good because what used to happen was, I mean, this guy would get routed because he's reservist, and so then he'd become infinitely slow. Now, I mean, that's slightly changed. Command M60 TTS, price decreased, and, okay, so this is, alright, so this is for ninth Moto, yeah. And I mean for 35th and for 8th. Price decrease for the TTS. Yeah, sure. I can see that. I can see that. M60 TTS era, price decreased. M60 TTS, price decreased. So the M60s got buffed. That's essentially to take away from this. The M60s got buffed. The LAV is now probably the most dominant recon vehicle in the game, and you're gonna probably be seeing a lot more of 82nd, and you're probably gonna be seeing a lot more of 8th and ninth, if I had to say. Little Bird base availability increased 5 to 7 and 4 to 6. I don't know what to say about that, to be fair. If I could spell, that'd be very nice. So these are both in 101st and in 82nd. Let's take a look here. Uh, yeah, I do not agree with this at all. These guys are insanely good at triple vet. I mean, everyone should take them triple vet. If you haven't already, please do take them at triple vet. Because they are special forces, so you get that you get that triple vet, makes them insanely good. And like the strat with these guys is you put them next to a supply, you raise them slightly so that they can't get shot, and then you land them back down once they fired these missiles or rockets, my bad. And then you stand them back up again and you fire, and then you bring them back down, reload, and then you go back up, and then you get insane DPS at triple vet. No one's hitting you. So I disagree with this heavily, because if you were microing these guys well, these guys were not dying. Unless, we're all human, we make a mistake. Yeah, one dies, two dies, but that leaves you with still either two more or five more. Depending on which variant you took. This one's the bad variant. There's no reason for this rotor cannon. This one's the good variant. So people, I mean, you'd used to spam this guy. So you'd lose one or two, but then you'd still keep the rest alive. And so, it was really, really good. Just increasing the availability more doesn't make sense. And I think that these guys are going to be a lot more powerful in starts now because at triple vet you used to get, I mean, what was it? You used to go like 5-4. I mean, I'm not, no, six, you used to go 6-4 or something. I'm not sure. But you did not used to get this many of them at triple vet, as far as I know. And Mm, I don't know. It feels like a weird change. I think that you're gonna be seeing this in like a start or two. Like you can put like you can start with some little birds. But definitely I think like a needed buff for 101st or some type of change. All right, let's get back into it. Recon OH58 decreased from 40 to 30 price, and Recon OH58C Scout base availability increased 3 to 4. So helicopter spam is now more prominent, or rather, the cheap little recons that you've got flying around is now more prominent. For some reason, they kind of like this makes no sense to me, but what they did was they nerfed the gun on this OH58C to the point where they made it useless, and now they buffed its availability, which, no, I don't need that. I'd rather you make the gun useful and decrease or keep the availability you used to have. But because there was this OP strat with 11th Cav where you would just do this if you wanted to, basically you could just do um, this, this. Um, because you could do this with 11th Cav, and this was insanely OP. Oh yeah, and don't forget the helicopter CV, so that you can buff them all. Because this was possible to do with 11th Cav, and then obviously topple that with A10s F16s. Um, because this was possible, like they nerfed this gun into the dirt, and now it's useless, but you've got more of them. So I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather have the gun be useful, but nerf the availability. But hey, what can you? Uh, EA6B Prowler renamed EA6B Prowler EW Seed. Not an important change, honestly. They just changed the name. F16 CG LGB so decreased 275 to 260. I think this is a needed buff. The F16 CG LGB is infamous for the fact that it does not one shot things it drops on unless it's an infantry unit. So even if you drop this like F16's bomb on a T80, he would not die. It would not one shot. F16 cluster price decreased 245 to 225. Here's where we might start disagreeing. These clusters are insanely yeah, these Rockeye clusters, they're not as good as, for example, an SU-22 M4 M4. Yeah, they're not as good as like this one. But there's a reason that the SU-22 M4 costed 20 points more. Now it costs 40 points more, which is something I disagree with, because the F16 cluster Rockeye could still be used to like great lengths. You could use it to like, I think it should go down by like 10 points, not by 20. But hey, what can you do? But basically, I mean, the strat was to stack two of these and then you would kill, or stack two of these and then go for separate AA pieces. Now it's a bit more prominent, which, it's something, it's not the best. Airborne Engineers Flash price decrease 50 to 45. Um, valid change, but there is this like strat with Flash where basically you would stop it before it fired. Like, you've got 8 rounds with the Flash. This is why the Flash is great for Forest. Is you would shoot the Flash, you would shoot the flash, make the enemy move, and then turn off the flash, shoot them with the M16s, or yeah, the M16s while they were moving, and then when they stop moving again, then you turn on the flash again, you shoot, and that counteracts the like the main weakness of the flash is that it doesn't deal damage, but it shoots 8 rounds and very very fast. Um, And so don't do that because you don't do any damage. What you want to be doing is you want to be constantly moving your opponent, and that's why these guys are like insanely powerful. But their price went down, which is like, I mean, I agree with. It's the airborne engineer's flash though, so 82nd, got some pretty nice buffs, you could say. Um, okay. Airborne machine gun price decreased 40 to 35. All of these machine guns price decreased by 5 points. I agree with this. I agree with this because I never use them. I mean, I never will. But hey, if make more people use them, I think that'd be great. Again, I don't use them because they're stationary guns, and I cannot CQC with them. Obviously for realistic reasons. But yeah, that's why I don't use them. Is you can't CQC with them, and they're like super. I mean, they're not expensive, but I'd rather be spending my points elsewhere. Um, like these 35 points that you're spending on this former 35 points that you're spending on the SEM2 Browning, you could be spending on or saving them so that you can start like cycling, what's it called? You could start cycling. As I was saying, these 35 points that you could spend could be spent elsewhere in cycling F-16s or any planes that you have, not in this M2 Browning. National Guard Stinger price increased 30 to 40. Okay. Do I agree with that? I mean, not really. Not really. The Stinger's never hitting anyway. Um, I think I'm never gonna use it now, because the original strats with Stingers at least is one vet because you can go two vet. But with manpads in general, you want to be doing this. Like in with all of my manpads, I'm either one vetting or two vetting most of the time. Mistrals as well, actually even. But in like fourth UK here, which is a division I've been playing, uh, this is my strategy for javelins. I mean, because this is allowed. You go double vet Saxons. You go double vet javelins and Saxons, and then you're paying 55 points javelin. Of course, the fact that it's Saklos is a bit weird, but 65% accuracy. So it's really good. And this is the strat with manpads. Like this is what you should be doing. When it's a National Guard one, unfortunately, when it's a National Guard one, you unfortunately cannot do that because, well, because it's National Guard, you cannot vet it. So yeah, I think that's the issue. M198 155 price increased 115 to 120. So, yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening. Uh, 50 like howitzers in general, but hey, I don't really like see a point. I don't think he was like OP or anything, but yeah, that's fine. Um, Recon National Guard M113 A3 ACAV pricing decreased, and Recon M113. Okay, okay, we might have a slight issue. If I recall correctly, that's the one in. Oh, it's this. Is it this one? Aha. Yes, it is that one. Okay. Well, what about the one in. What's the one in 6th Alaskan, though? Aha, that's the M3A1. Aha, aha, okay. So the one. Okay, so there's a difference. This was not the one that got buffed. The M113A3 is the one that got. Yeah, so this one got buffed. and apparently this one as well. Um, which is I can see that, but hey, let's not forget about the OG. Um, let's not forget about this, please. Although I think this is a good change. I haven't seen anyone use an ACAV in a long time, unless it was 6th Alaskan. But the way that you were playing 6th Alaskan was like this. You'd go like here, you do this. This is the way that you would play 6th Alaskan. But this is different. These ACAVs do not get the recoilless rifles, so it's a bit different. But this is the way that you were playing 6th Alaskan. And people were, well, I mean, at least I was actually using the M113 ACAVs here. Um, I think this is actually very OP. I mean, it's not OP, but it's really, really good. Um, but yeah, I haven't seen anyone like. I mean, first of all, you don't see anyone playing third anyway, and then on top of the fact that you don't see anyone playing third, once in a lifetime where you do come up against a third armored player, I'm talking specifically for ranked 1v1s. Um, I've never seen people use an ACAV, or at least like in this day and age. Like at the current state, no, I haven't seen an ACAV. Okay. M42A1 Duster, aircraft weapon range increased. Okay, so this is the SPAG. Yeah, this is SPAG essentially. I'm pretty sure this is like a buffer's gun or something. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, its range got increased. So I mean, I guess good for this gun. Um, they're buffing a lot of 35th. I see that they're buffing a lot of 35th, 24th, and in general 8th. 82nd also got some very nice buffs, and Wonder first got the little birds as well as 82nd. Um, I think in order to make 24th and 35th actually usable, other changes are going to happen though. Um, and some different changes as well. Not what we're doing right now. It's a good step in the right direction, but I don't think it's everything that we wanted to see. You know, 35th Infantry Mech Command based veterancy increased from XP 0 to XP 1. This makes sense because it's a command unit. A Little Bird based veterancy decreased from XP 3 to XP 2. Okay. Aha. Ah, right. Okay, so that's what I remember. Alright, so these guys used to come at triple ven normally. Now they do not. Now they do not. Okay. Um, United Kingdom, Centurion Mark 12 AVR 105, base ability. Whoa. Uh, no, 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 no. That's bad. That's bad. Oh no. Okay. So fourth UK is now a lot better. Yeah. Okay. This is very powerful now. Um, it's good. Like it's aimed at the right thing. Like it's making fourth UK better. I think that's nice. Um, but you'd make fourth UK a bit better by giving it an IFV for crying out loud, not by giving it like because right now this is your IFV. This is the IFV of fourth UK. And I mean it works, right? Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But like you have to do this in order to justify. I mean this is at least what I do in my fourth UK. I mean this is what I rock. This is like half of my infantry tab, and then I'm also rocking pretty sure I'm rocking like the Spartan MCTs here. And then I mean, over here I also use the Strikers. Like, when you're using the Strikers, you know it's bad. Like, when you're using... Although, actually, Strikers are pretty good, actually. But, um... I mean, of course, Strikers don't hit, but, like... They're pretty fine for suppression. You one let them once, they got 50% accuracy. These guys are pretty fine at what they do. And they also have huge suppression damage. That's, like, the biggest thing. Um, can't say I really agree with this. I mean, it's nice to have. Uh, would have been better if like if something happened like in the air tab or something. I don't know. Or in the infantry tab, an IFV would have been nice. But hey, this is a welcome change. But it's pretty. Fourth UK's tempo now is a lot more powerful than it was, because originally what you used to do is like probably this. You could actually double vet this. Yeah, you do double vet this, and then you do this to like keep it in check. And then you can sometimes, like, I did some strats with the double vet this guy that I would start with, sometimes one vet as well. I forgot my like 40k, but I'll remake my decks because all of them disappeared, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, the double vetting strat in 4th UK is definitely a must. I mean, all of this was on double vet that I know, and I already said that all my javelins came at double vet that I also know. Um, and a lot of my tanks came at double vet as well. Because if you don't take them at double vet, you're kind of losing the game. Right. Okay, let's continue. Command Challenger Mark II price decreased 270 to 260. Nice. So the Challenger Mark II is a bit better now because, I mean, the Challenger Mark II, Britain suffers. I mean, it's like it's comparable to the Wilk. It's actually very. Ooh, the Wilk got nerfed, and I think it also got name changed. I think the Wilk got name changed and nerfed. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Oh, and all the T-72s got nerfed as well, I'm pretty sure. Okay, we'll get into that very soon, as soon as we come up on it in the patch notes. I don't want to spoil anything for myself and you guys. FV5 Warrior price decreased 45 to 40. Okay, so this is like the without the ATGM Warrior. That's pretty nice. That's a welcome change. Um, so this is basically the warrior here. This one essentially. Yeah, I think can. Why is this pinned? Why is this? Okay. Uh, so this basically, I don't think anyone was using this. I mean, or at least when you were using it, you weren't using it. Yeah, no, I think no one was using it because in first UK you would go. Okay. Um. In first UK, basically, everyone would go for appliques. No one would go for this, and that's because there's absolutely zero reason to go for this. Because if you can get an applique, you will get an applique. Now, of course, there are some variations. You can go like appliques and then just one warrior for the IFV spam. But again, when you have the option to go for an ADGM, you usually go for that ADGM. Um, and let's take a look at the second UK here, just to see it for a second. Um, here, armored rifles, yeah. And so here, it was actually an even worse situation, because when just for the difference of 10 points, well, I mean, formerly 10 points, or rather, presently 10 points, it used to be worse, um, for this just difference, everyone would be taking the Milan, because why would you take just an autocannon, which would make it so that you are basically useless whenever an IFV comes along, because most of the time, it was at a range which you could not penetrate it, so you would just be useless. Like, you're paying 80 points for nothing, essentially. Right. Airmobile price increased. Good change, I think. Well, I mean, I wasn't really using the airmobiles, but I think second UK nerfs are welcome. Para M2 Browning. I think every M2 Browning, or rather every machine gun, went down, which is good. I think that should be the case. Javelin price decreased. Good change. Although, yeah, but I think it's an overall a good change. Terriers Paris Carol J price decreased, and Terriers Paris. So this is an important thing to note in first UK. There was a strat of first UK where you just wouldn't use these guys because they were so expensive. And because they were so expensive, you just like, why would you be paying formerly more points for a Terrier Paracarl J when you can just open, like, you can open SAS Patrol and then back it up with scimitars. Like, I'd rather get an IFV Recon than this guy if this guy was so expensive. Now, of course, or rather, the strat was why go for like the Carl Gustavs? They were very expensive, and then just go for the Terriers. Of course, I didn't do it. I personally enjoy having this AT. I personally enjoyed having both of them, and I think a lot of the player base enjoyed having both of them. I'm just saying some players were like, why would I do this if it was so expensive? I'd rather just get this. And so, and back this, of course, up, because if you get no forward deploy, then you're just kind of losing the game. Or some players were like, why would I get the Carl Gustav at all? So I think, Evolution noticed this, and they decreased their price. Valid. Valid change, I think. HSF trait militia added. So this is the militia trait that we took a look at. M107, 175 millimeter speed decreased 70 to 40. Wow, okay, so they want apparently not here in second, okay. Um, this thing used to go 70 kilometers per hour. I did not notice that. Okay, yeah, valid, very valid change. This thing should not be the speed of light and should not be able to readjust after like moving. But I think they did this to all artillery pieces, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure, or to most, or it could just be to this one. They talked about like decreasing like but they talked about something else. Yeah, okay. So I think this is just for this one. FV Wombat optics decreased good to bad. And swing fire. So this is good. No one was using the swing fire. Everyone's using the strike. So the striker, because the swing fire is worse. Um. Uh. Yeah. No one was using the swing fire. Because it's just worse overall. I mean. Uh. But yeah, now that they decreased the price, we might see some more swing fire usage personally. But I'm not sure. I'll probably be still using the striker because of the speed. Um, but yeah, what can you do? I guess I think it's a good change. Rover supply speed increased, then rover speed increased. So they increased the speed of the rover off road, of course. Second Infantry Division Challenger Mark II cards decreased 2 to 1. Okay. Alright. Okay, second UK is not that good anymore. Yeah, second UK lot. Yeah, okay. Okay, so it's over for second UK bros. Essentially, what this means is that second UK has close to zero 40-minute play, and this is really good because I mean they've got their air spam, right? They still have their air spam, of course. They've still got their insanely good infantry, and they've still got all of this. And by the way, the Saladin has very good optics. Please abuse this, guys. The Saladin, very good optics. Is really really good. I mean, look, the Fox has good. The Saladin has very good, and I mean the Ferret as well. But like the Ferret is useless. Like, come on, let's look at this machine gun. So Saladin, very good optics. Use it, although it is, as you can see here, reservist. Um, yeah, but like we were saying, essentially, second UK because they would get like they were everything. They did everything perfectly, and that's what made them OP. Is like you would get SAS, of course, in Saxons, not in Bedfords. We don't want to be losing games. They also did this. Yeah, they also did this. Basically, I mean, this is at least what I did with my infantry tab. This is how my infantry tab looked like in second UK, and I also did this. Yeah, I think I used this, and then I added probably like a Milan or something, or like Terriers, Pioneers. I'm not sure, but something like this is what my infantry tab of second UK looked like. And essentially, they would do the infantry perfectly. They would do IFVs, they would do fighting infantry, and then they would do SAS as well perfectly. And then you'd also get two cards of Challenger Mark IIs and the Mark II command card. So if you of course, if you took these guys on reservists, which you shouldn't be doing, but like now you probably should, you could put a CV next to them and you'd make them one vet, and this would basically make it so that you would get 12 Challenger Mark IIs. So you would get 12 Challenger Mark IIs, have a perfect infantry tab, have a solid tank tab, have a really good recon tab, have a good AA tab, have a good helicopter tab, have a great air tab, do all of this for no consequence. You every single tab of yours was just very very good. So this change is, I think, good. Fourth Armored Division Terriers added Saxon as a transport option. I don't think this changes much for Fourth Armored. Them getting a Saxon in a Terrier doesn't change much. But hey, what can you? Oh dear lord. Okay. 2A4C is the first thing that that pops up for my eyes. Price increased 275 to 280. Very valid. Very 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 valid. The 2A4C was severely overperforming for its price. So if you took a look, Leopard 2A4C. Let's pin this and let's go to the M1A1. Uh, so as you can see here, the 2A4C costed the same price, but was faster off-road. Obviously had less side armor, but had more penetration on the main gun and was faster off-road. Of course, the 2A4C was locked to either 5th Panzer or 4E, but again, it was severely overperforming on its price level. Again, the side armor is too bigger on the Abrams, but that doesn't. I mean, it changes a lot, but it doesn't really matter because if you're fighting how you should be fighting, the tank gun penetration matters a lot more than the side armor. Another thing, 21 pen on the main gun makes it so that you one tap IVs. You one tap IVs is just all I'm gonna say. You one tap IVs, and so it was severely overperforming, and now it's 280 points. Very good change in my opinion. Okay. Leopard 1A, 1A, 1A1, price decreased by 5 points. Leopard 1A, 1A1, price increased by 5 points. I disagree with this. I think the 1A, 1A1s are pretty weak compared to the T55. I mean, if you 1v1, if you put a T55 on double vet because otherwise they're useless, but and now we can do this, so I think this is great. Leopard 1A, 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 1A1. Yeah, if you compare these guys, of course, the Leopard 1A 1A1 used to cost 5 points less. But if you pitted these guys against each other, the T55 would come out victorious almost every single time. Oh wait, of course, let me put the scan double of it. Now, the Leopard 1A 1A1 does get a lot higher accuracy. That's all great, right? That's great. But the T55 has 2 more front armor, which makes it take less suppressed damage when hit. Another thing is it gets resolute, so on top of the fact that it gets less suppression damage when getting hit by the Leopard 1A 1A1, which already does very little damage because the guns are shit, you have resolute. So you can kind of see the point here. The Leopard 1A1 consistently loses against the T55, and now it costs a whole 10 points more whilst doing nothing better. Essentially, just the accuracy is better, and the fact that you have smoke, which can save you. But because the Leopard 1A1A1 has 9 front armor, it's also dying in 2 shots, whereas the T55 with 11 can die in 3. Of course, when a TOW 2 is coming your way, none of this matters, and you still die in one hit with both tanks, but it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that the T55 against the 1A1A1 absolutely destroys it, and in general tank fights, the T55 is advantageous because of its armor. No one cares about the accuracy, that doesn't matter anyway. You get stressed to oblivion in tank fights anyway, and so your accuracy plummets to a whole gambling percent. But that doesn't matter because the T55 gets resolute and the 1A1 doesn't, and it also gets less armor, so proportionally over time the 1A1 actually has less accuracy because it doesn't get resolute and because um it doesn't get more armor. Okay, let's get back the patch notes. 1A5 price decreased by a whole 15 points, and 1A5 price decreased. So this is where I start agreeing. The 1A5, well, I mean, okay, I think the 1A1 should have been done the same, but okay. The 1A5 was severely like just bad. I mean, it's for the price. Apparently, it needs to stand up to a Merida which it absolutely doesn't at all. Like before, when it costed, its former price, as let's take a look here, former price 120. So for 5 points less than the Merida, which basically is makes no difference in Warno. I mean, it does a slight, but it doesn't matter that much. If you pitted the 185 versus the Merida is always winning. It is the Merida is never losing unless you miss like 3 shots in a row and the 185 hits 3 shots in a row. But even then, and so the issue here, another thing is, the 185 still has that 9 armor. And this is realistic, of course. I'm not asking for the 185s to get buffed in armor because actually the armor value that they get, the leopard ones, is actually pretty generous in Warno, and I'm happy for that. Like, I think it should be generous because otherwise it would be just utterly useless and it would be comparable to an IS-2 in this game. But if you take a look, the T55AM2 for 5 points more formerly used to get Resolute. I mean, still does, gets Resolute, and it gets 5 more frontal armor, which is insanely an insane game changer. So, how, for only 5 points more, do you have 5 more points of a stat? That doesn't make sense. Of course, your gun is worse, and the accuracy of your gun is a lot worse, but none of that matters when you've got that much armor. The 185, all the accuracy on the 185 doesn't matter because it's still gonna get hit by 180 GM and forget that it's even fighting. You know, you get hit by an ADGM, you forgot that you're even on the front line. Hans is in his Leopard 1, and he forgets that he's on the front line because the TOW 2 landed next to him. And so it doesn't matter whether you've got 70% accuracy or 55. Okay, I forgot to put this on 1 vet because you should take it on 1 vet. Sometimes you take it on 2, but will not do 2 vet because it doesn't make any sense. 1 vet versus 1 vet here. As you can see, only a 10% accuracy difference. It doesn't really matter that much because when you're actually fighting, the T55 AM2 absolutely slaps the 185 in the face, and it's not even close. It's not even close. And actually, the more tanks there are, like in that fight, so if you put 2 T55 AM2s versus 2 185s, the worse it gets for the 185s. It scales exponentially with how many tanks are in the fight. If it's 5 T55 AM2s versus 5 Leopard 185s, it's going to be a lot worse for the 185s than it is going to be in just a 1v1. But hey, that's a topic for another day. A very sad day, but it's a step in the right direction. The 185s did get buffed, and I'm happy, and I think they'll be used to better extents now. Command Panzer Leopard 2A3, price decreased 280, 270. I think this is good, and I think this was done because the 2A4C went up to 280, and then it wouldn't make sense paying 280 for a 2A3. Of course, it's command, but that doesn't matter because it's still a 2A3. It wouldn't make sense paying 280 for a 2A3 when you could pay 280 for a 2A4C. Recon Lux, weapon range decreased by 75 meters. That doesn't even matter. Like, 75 meters in this game, 75 meters in real life is a big difference. I mean, big difference. But 75 meters in this game is literally like 2.5 seconds of travel on a vehicle. Like, okay, what? Like, okay, no, it's not even 2.5 seconds. It's like 1.5 seconds. It's not even 2.5. That doesn't make sense to me. But hey, what can you do? M48A2 CGA1, renamed Heimat, that doesn't matter, that's a needless change. Heimat M48, speed increased, good, because the M48s, what used to happen is they would route, and then they would be utterly useless, because again, they would forget they are on the front line, and they were so slow that by the time that they reversed, World War III is over, and you can all go home. But yeah, and the M48 is speed increased, very nice. Um, Command M48 price decreased, nice. I mean, no one was using them anyway, so that's good. M48, okay, we said that. Yeah, we said all of this. Martyr 182 Milan, weapon range decrease. Yeah, okay, so this is why I didn't notice the autocannon, because if you recall over here, they said that IV autocannons reduced effective range, and I was like, okay, so they reduced the range, and I tried to spot a difference in range, but I could not see it, so I was like, okay, I'll wait in the patch notes till we get to this. Um, Apparently, yeah, it's been only decreased by 75 meters, which does not even make the slightest difference. Now, of course, I'm not asking for it to be decreased by like 500, but 75 is not like, I mean, here, let's travel 75 meters in this game. Let's see what 75 meters is. Let's put down an IFV for the sake of testing. Send a circuit that way. Okay, this is 75 meters in this game. That's 75 meters. The range got cut by like 1%. This does not do it. Look, okay, here, 75 meters. I'm gonna move to it. 1.5 seconds. And so, like I said, exactly, in real life, 75 meters is a pretty big thing. Of course, in military terms, not that big of a thing. But in this game, 75 meters is like a couple of pixels. Look, it's like directly in front of the, like, it's here. It doesn't look. This is actually 90. Does this look like 90 meters to you? Now, of course, this is because of the way that scaling works in this game. But yeah, this is apparently 90 meters. Guys, does this look like 90 meters to you? Yeah, this is 90 meters distance. And 75 is this. Conveniently, the BMP3 looked at us. This is 75 meters range. I mean, it's literally nothing. But hey, I mean, okay, at least now you cannot aim at... Congratulations. Yay. Yeah, okay. Alright. Well, that's 75 meters for you. Useless. But yeah, Martyr 182 Milan, weapon range decreased. Martyr 182 price decreased. Weapon range decreased. Okay, so every one weapon range decreased, like they said. And then the price of the IFVs actually fell for some reason. For some reason. I'm not sure why. Because now this is possible. Because what you used to do with 2nd Panzer is... This is what you used to do with 2nd Panzer. And now this is even more possible because the prices got decreased. Yep. Or rather, actually, I mean, only the... so only the autocannon variants. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think this is a bit broken. I don't see the reason in this. Yeah, that's 5 armor. I think this is, like, gonna be the new strat. I think this is gonna be the new strat because this is 5 armor. Nothing can pen this. Not a single IFV can pen this now. Okay, yeah, I think this is gonna be something like this is gonna be the new strat for 2nd Panzer. I mean, and for 5th Panzer because they both spam the same Panzer Grenadier unit. Gina HE base availability increased 3 to 5. Okay, so finally, some love to TKS. The Gina yeah, some love to TKS. The Genas increased in availability, which is nice to see. I have severe trauma and nightmares of this one plane. There's this one player that used it against me a lot of the time. You know who you are. Thank you for using this against me. He's a really nice guy. He's a really nice guy. He's a friend of mine. But yeah, he used this against me back in the day, and it was not fun at all. But yeah, I mean, the 5 availability makes sense, makes sense. I think this might be It's a nice change for TKS. Like, if you put this in some OP division, it would be even more OP. But like for TKS, this is a good change. Although there's a new, now there's opportunity for a new start in TKS. You can just start with Genos. I mean, you used to do that anyways, but Recon BGS, trait reservist removed, trait militia added. Recon BGS Streife, trait reservist removed, trait militia added. FS Jaeger, price decreased. Good change. Honestly, the FS Jaeger was a tad bit too expensive. Honestly, the FS Jaeger in 2nd Panzer was a tad bit too expensive in my opinion. Or wait, no. What FS Jaeger are we talking about here? Well, we could be. Oh, I mean, this is the Bundeswehr. This is the Bundeswehr. Okay, yeah, yeah. So this one, we're talking about this one. Yeah, this FS Jaeger was a tad bit overpriced. Don't agree with it on. Didn't agree with its price. So this is a good change. I feel like this is a good change. FR Polizei Reserve, Trade Reservists removed, militia added, so, normal. Fair and Scharfschütze, base availability increased 3 to 4. Good thing on the snipers. The snipers I feel like are a bit too underpowered. Like, the only sniper that's, like, really good is the M82. And that's because that shit is winning against, M82, not 28. That's because the M82 literally wins against APCs. Obviously, right? But like the M82 wins against APCs, and that's why it's the only good sniper. Because if you're charging this weapon, I will warn you, 500% of 0.25, you will die. And it's also got a penetration value. It wins against APCs. Um, yeah, you're not surviving that. You're just not. So yeah, I mean, you know, the M82 is really good, but any other sniper that you come across is just utter uselessness. I mean, the Remington useless, Model 3011 useless, L96 useless. Okay, I mean, I clicked on the wrong one. The M24 is like good, but it's still not good, right? So the M21, M24, not comparable to this. And for only 10 points more as well. For only 10 points more, you're actually really OP, but for 10 points less, you're useless. Like, it doesn't make that much sense. But hey, so, yeah, I think snipers should come down. They should be used a bit more, because right now they're a bit unrepresented, to say the least. Um, M109, reload time decreased. Okay, so now we can spam 155 caliber artillery more. All right. Krakatoa price decrease. So this is the thing in MNAD. Um. Uh. Price decreased. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. The thing is, uh, fair bit of warning when you're doing something like this. You can't just be changing the price for the unit. You also have to be changing the price for the division. Excuse me, for the division because this is now even more possible than it was. People used to do this. Some people used to do this, and let's just say it's possible. I mean, it's possible because this is dirt cheap. And I mean, okay, this is obviously not dirt cheap, but then you amass these CHs because they've got 10 health, of course, with reason, and they've got 10% ECM, and so you amass these CHs, and then you throw them at the enemy all at once, and then you bomb them as well. So that's a strat with them now that you could do. You just amass these CHs, and you just bomb them when you've spotted an enemy A. That's at least what I used to do with them, Nad. Um, but right. Um, Command M577 price decreased. This is nice to see. And the M577 is like that cheap MTLB commander, essentially, very like the NATO equivalent. This is nice to see that the cheap CVs are getting cheaper. Weasel Mark 20. We took a look at the Weasel Yemna thingy, but like we said, 75 meters is just literally nothing. Buffors health points increased. Do I agree with that? Not really. I don't see a point, but hey, what can you do? Roland 2 price increased, weapon smoke launcher added. Goated change. Actually, really good change. The thing about the Rolands is that they're so useless. That they're so useless. They're very inconsistent. Sometimes they're just utterly useless, and sometimes they're really good. The thing about this is when they were utterly useless, you would usually need to take them out of cover in order to hit something, and so on that unlucky day, right? And then you take them out of cover, try to hit something, miss, and they get punished by an enemy ATGM. Now you've got a smoke launcher, that will not be happening. So this is a really good change in my opinion. It's really nice to see. Does this one get smoke? No. Okay, so the French one gets smoke, but the... What? Isn't that a glitch? FRP Roland, price increased, weapon smoke launcher added. Oh, wait, what? I'm blind. Okay, I'm just blind. What? Alright, yeah, okay, I'm just blind. That's my bad. Yeah, everything is fine. This guy's got smoke, and these guys have got smoke. Yeah, I'm just blind. That's my bad. Um, yeah, okay. Um, Second Panzer Grenadier remove Jaguar. No! Oh, that's actually so sad. No, why? That's really sad to see. They removed the Jaguar too. And the Jaguar 1 is not that good. I mean, now you're not left with an option. I mean, okay, they kind of took away that you're only towed 2. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's because you got this already. Yeah, and you don't need more gem spam. But now you're gonna be losing tank fights a second Panzer. So I'll do warn you, like your tank fighting capabilities have been lowered. I think it's because this guy got nerfed. This guy got buffed, which is great. Step in the right direction. This guy got buffed, great. This guy got buffed, and I think this guy got buffed. You don't, however, have a heavy hitter anymore. You are missing that Jaguar too. This guy's never hitting in a lifetime. I mean, you could probably put your life savings on red and still have a better chance at doing that than doing this. Um, but yeah, also don't gamble, please. Yeah, I think Jaguar 2 is like, I think that's a critical piece that you cannot take away from Second Panzer. I mean, of course, Second Panzer is still OP because you've still got massive amounts of tempo with this. For a second, I got confused. Um, and I mean, the FS Jaegers got buffed, so that's great. But it's still good. It's like the Second Panzer is still really, 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 really good. But you're missing that Jaguar too. I think it's like these were good changes. This was pretty bad. And I think the Jaguar 2 removal is just unnecessary. If you really wanted to like nerf Second Panzer in some way, you'd remove a card of Panzer Grenadiers, or rather you'd remove like 2 cards of Panzer Grenadiers, because if you want IFVs, here, get your IFVs for free. You know, get your IFVs if you want them. If you want IFVs with 80 GMs, get them in Panzer Grenadier. But I think there's no reason to get 6 cards of IFVs. I don't think it makes much sense. Um, and then also if you like wanted to nerf Second Panzer, you could try doing something in its air tab. Although, I mean, there's not much you could do. You could probably like try to lower its like anti-air, but it doesn't, like ASFs and stuff. But that doesn't make much sense. I think Second Panzer should be nerfed in the IFV department because that's what gives its insane tempo, not any air or any type of other thing. But hey, you know what can you do? Right, and that's basically it for the Bundeswehr. Moving on to France. AMX10P price decreased, so this is your IFV, which, whoa, actually, hold on a second. We've got a new strat for 5e now. Oh, my bad. Um, Wrong E. 5e. What you used to, I mean, okay, so this is, so some people do this with 5e, and I say this is completely wrong. If you want to do 5e, you do this. You put them double vet and you take them to the TRMs. This is what you want to be doing. And I'm pretty sure Tiberius Rancor agrees with me. If Tiberius has gone to this point of the video, uh could you please say if you agree with me here? I'm pretty sure that you do. If you don't, that's fine. But I'm pretty sure Tiberius Rancor, who plays 5e a lot, uh, agrees with me here. Um, the Escorte PC is where you want to get your IFV. This is what you used to be able to do, and this cost 70 points. I specifically remember. This cost 70 points, and then it would cost the same as the Chasseurs. And so you'd be getting the Chasseurs and the Escorte PC for both 70 points. If you want your IFV, come get this. If you want your Chasseur squad, come get this. And so, but now, this is 65. And so, I mean, pretty interesting change, to be honest. Pretty interesting. Can't say I agree with it much, but I mean, I don't really see a reason. You've just made like autocannon spam even more prominent in 5e because like all of your tanks, or of course this is not the way that you want to be rocking your tank tab, but all. Why is this missing a? Okay, so apparently the B2s and the Brennesses they fire nothing. They fire air. Um, Besides the jokes, you already get autocannons on all of your tanks. There's really, yeah, okay, so all the AMXs are just glitched. You already get autocannons on all of your tanks. There's no like reason to make autocannons even more prominent. Um, but yeah, I guess I don't understand it much, but whatever. MX-10P Milan, weapon range decreased. This is the autocannon change. MX-13 VCI 20 mil, price decreased. Okay, so this is your... Okay, so if you come back to 5e here, so this is the one that you take with the engineers. These guys. Yeah, look at this. Okay. Oh, this is now possible. Okay, Oh, this is so cool now. Alright. So what you used to do is you used to take these guys in the Browning, and you used to take them in the machine gun, guys. Or at least I did. I used to get them in this. What you used to do is you get these guys in the machine guns, and then they would cost, as you can see here, then they would cost 60 points. But this was not an autocannon. Now it's an autocannon. Although, again, why are we making autocannons even more prominent in a division that's already spamming them? But hey, whatever. Command MX-30B, CMDT, price decreased. Good change. The MX-30B is pretty weak. I'm just gonna stay in 5e from now on because all the changes are in 5e. Oh, but it's not even in 5e. The MX-30B Commander, since it's where is the MX-30B Commander? It's in Burcom. Oh yeah, I don't think anyone is gonna notice the change because first of all, no one even plays Burcom, and then second of all, um, Burcom's got other issues. Burcom's just got other issues. Where's Burcom? Here it is. Yeah, Burcom's got other issues. Mainly not a single IFV, and then your tank tab is also not tempo at all. The Chieftain Mark 10 it loses at its price. The Meep is like it's got good armor. Its gun is bad though. For 240 points, and you don't even have more cards of them. So, this division's got other problems. But hey, this is a step in the right direction, I guess. Buff Burcom, please. Um, Brenna's price increased. This is a really good change. What you used to be able to do is you used to save 30 points from the opener. You used to save 30 points from the opener, so that when you get 260 in the first minute, you used to get 290 points, which if you divide by 2, it would equal 145, and that used to be the price of the Brenners. So what you would do is you would save 30 points, first tick, and then you could buy 2 Brennesses if you were facing a division that could kill you. No longer is that the case though. The AMX Brennus now costs 165. Now you're gonna have to save a lot more in order to buy them. Um, so I think it's a good change. I think it's a good change. They're no longer as spammable as they used to be. Pretty sure these guys are the same. Yeah, these guys are the same price though. But now, I mean, this also used to be the strat. What you would do is you would the chasseurs that you could buy. Do you remember? They used to cost 70 points. I'll just go into the division here so you can see. When you'd get them in the TRM on double vet, they used to cost 70 points. And so these guys cost 270 together. And so you would buy 3 chasseurs, which is 210 points. Okay. And then minus 260, you get a tick of income, you buy these three chasseurs, this equals 50, and then you get another tick of income, and then you've got 310 points, and then you can spend it on, then you can spend 270 on, what's it called, on two AMX B2s. That leaves you with 40, correct? And then you get another tick of income, and then you get 300 points minus again 270. So it's a constant cycle. So what you would do is you would get these three chasseurs after the first tick, have 50 points left over, and then you could get five ticks of two B2 AMXs. That used to be what you would do with 5e. The Brennesses you wouldn't even touch unless you were facing a division that required Brennesses to counter it. ERC changes here. Price decreased 130 to 110. ERC Sagae price decreased 100 to 90. That's good. I mean, the ERCs are pretty bad. That's a good step. Gazelle Cannon base availability not needed. I don't think it was needed. Alpha Jet, some love to the Alpha Jets. Oh wait, never mind. Just replaced. Magister 80 renamed Magister. No reason, but okay. Napalm price decreased, so this is a good change because no one in their right mind was using Napalm in ranked because you would dodge it or it wouldn't do damage because you were in a building. Mirage renamed. Mirage F1 CT LGB price decreased. Pretty sure this LGB one taps. I'm not sure though. I'm not exactly sure. So making it one tick. Let's see what LGB they're talking about. This LGB. I think it one taps. I think it one taps. I'm not sure. I mean, I think it one taps. Yeah, I think it one taps. The problem with this is that now it's exactly one tick, so you can bring it out immediately. But it is an 11E, so it doesn't really matter because 11E is really bad. Mirage 3 renamed Mirage 3E. AA, it doesn't matter. Marsui Milan 2 price decreased. So if you take a look here, Milan to Marsui. In 152nd, it's a needed buff for 152nd. They're pretty useless, unless you play them in an exact way, which is like the way that you want to play 152nd is you go here, you do this, and your tank tab looks like this. This is what your tank tab looks like. Um, I know, like, you don't use the AMLs at all because the AMLs are just so bad. They're only one armor, so they die instantly. So your tank tab is your recon tab, actually. But yeah, this is the way you want to play because these guys get 4 armor. Um, but yeah, this is a nice change. Welcome change. Command CMDT chasseurs price increase 35 to 40. Um, okay. Um, doesn't really matter that much. M2 Browning, this is the change for all the M2 Brownings. Mistral price increased, good change. The Mistral is overperforming. Price increased, good change. Mistral again overperforming. Recon Paras SAS, so this is an 11E. Price decreased. That's good because they don't get any AT. If you take a look here, Paras SAS, they don't get any AT. So, they're pretty bad. You can just run into them in the opener. Of course, this applies to every unit that doesn't get AT, but these guys specifically. So yeah, it's nice to see them, be a bit better than they are. 155 price decreased, so the same thing that we saw over there in 101st is basically the 155's got buffed slightly, which is good. No, 101st, sorry, I think it was like 9th month or something, but in America, in the USA tab, essentially, the 155's got buffed, sorry, not nerfed. Recon AMX stabilizer decreased. Oh lord, oh lord. Right, so we no longer fire on the move. Okay. AMX-10 PC, weapon range decreased, so this is the autocannon AMX-10 PC, which I use a lot in 5e actually. I think it's really, really good. But it's the 75 meter change, which literally has zero effect. So this, basically this. It's the 75 meter change, which literally does not affect anything at all. Command P4 PC price decreased 85 to 80. This is a good change. I think the P4 PC was not being used as much as it could be, and that's because of its insane price. I think all of these like fast commands are overpriced because like some BTRs that are commands cost like 100 points. Who's paying 300 points in the opener to cap 3 zones? I know I'm not. So in almost all of my pack decks, I'm getting the cheap shitbox CVs. Essentially, for example, like in 7th Panzer, for example, I get not yeah, I get this command in 7th Panzer because it's super dirt cheap and I love it. Like I love these commands. Some at most I get like a BMP1. This is insanely overpriced. It does nothing. This is insanely overpriced. It does literally nothing. Except for the fact that it's fast. Like why am I paying like 30 or 25 points more just because actually it's not even that. You can't even compare. Let's compare it to this. Why am I paying 65 points more? Let's compare it to this. Why am I paying 60 points more just so I can go fast? That doesn't make any sense at all. I do not need to be paying you 60 more points just so I can go fast. Granted, availability bonus, that's great and all. Does it matter? No. I don't want to be paying you 60 points more so I can cap my zone faster. And I think these prices need to come down immediately. They are too cheap. They are too expensive. Obviously, don't let them be too cheap. I don't want them to be like 50 points, 60 points. 70 will do. 80 will do. I think 80 is the sweet spot. 80 is like what I'm ready to accept, you know? But I think that needs to be changed. Okay. Roland 2, we said this obviously for the Bundeswehr, same applies to the French. Roland 2 and Roland 3, price increased, but they get the smoke launcher, so you no longer get punished. 5e Division Blindy changed 2 1-point RT slots into 1 2-point, add 1 3 RT point slots, changed 3 1-point tank slots into 2 2 points. Whoa. Okay. 5e got nerfed. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think it's this. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure. They worded it not in the best way. The thing is that 5e doesn't even need to take its entire tank tab because it runs out of tank cards, which is a good thing. I don't need it to get more tanks. It's a good thing. The thing is that the tab is so massive. It can literally fit like every version of the tank that you want. Huh? But what can you do, I guess? Good 5e nerfs though. Good 5e nerfs, like the Brennus and this tab as well, and the RT tab. But this is the IFV buffs on these guys and on these guys is not something that I enjoy. Netherlands 2A4C price increase, so this is the Bundeswehr equivalent. F16AA price decreased, F16AA2 price decreased. So this is in 4E. If you take a look, second, there it is. So you've got your F16 here, price decreased as you can see, and you've got the F16AA2. Where did we get the F16AA2? I'm not sure exactly. Where did we get the F16AA2? I think they wrote it incorrectly. Like this. Oh, this one. Oh, it's an Emanat. Okay, alright, it's an Emanat. Okay, alright, it was hidden away. But yeah, it got buffed, so that's nice. Although, I think it's a bit too powerful, the shotgun ones. A bit too powerful. But the 4E 16 buff is very welcome, and the reason is that 4E has a really big issue with getting air spammed. The iHawk was added, and that's a great addition. Problem is, this gets RT'd or seeded. Of course, if you micro it well, neither of these things will happen, but we're all human, we all make mistakes. At some point, you lose your iHawks, and then you get air spammed, and then it's an issue. Because when you get this guy out, an SU-27 is rapidly approaching your way, and it evacs you before you get your aim 9s off on him. And you don't even hit them if you do, most of the time, because the SU-27 is an SU-27. So, that's an issue, and it has a problem with getting air spammed. But yeah, I think it's a good change. I think it's a good change. F16 cluster renamed HE. How do you rename a cluster to HE unless you change its payload? What? Yeah, let's take a look at it. What? That doesn't make any sense. Why did they rename this? Why would you rename now you're gonna get scammed. It now has the same name as this. The only difference is the payload, so now you get scammed. So now when you see warning, the warning, and you see an F-16A HE approaching your location, you don't know whether it's a cluster or an HE. What is this? What is this like camouflage? How now you don't know which F-16. Okay, so now there's this OP strategy. Essentially, you just put two F-16 HEs of different types next to each other. Be careful not to confuse yourself in the process as well. Um, but you put these guys next to each other, you roll them out in the same time, and if your enemy is like playing a heavy tank division, you just target the tanks with this cluster, and he won't know until it's too late which is the cluster and which is the normal HE. What is this? Why did they rename this to the HE? That doesn't make any sense. It literally says right there, cluster munition, and they renamed it to the same thing as this. It's like the same name and the same price as well. You can't tell by the price, you can't tell by the speed. It's the same plane, just a different bomb loadout, and that's it. But they've got everything else the same. It's the stat clone of each other, except for the bomb payload. Or rather, the bombs in general, the bomb loadout and the payload. That doesn't make any sense at all. What? Okay. Alright. So, this is really weird. That's sad to see, honestly. Like, why would. This is probably a mistake, all things considered. It's probably a mistake. It happens. Unlucky. Hopefully they fix that. Yeah, you can see here, like, what is the reason? NFA, weapon replaced by two of these guns. So now it gets two of these guns. NF cluster renamed NF cluster. Ah, I think they wanted to. Actually, I don't know what they wanted to do. I'm confused. Uh, basically, all of these NFs. Well, I mean, some increased, some decreased in price. Why is this 175? Whoa. No, that does not need to be 175. Oh wait, no, it does. It does. That's my mistake. It does. Um, and now they now get two of these guns, which is actually a nice addition. They get two of these guns now. I think this is a good change. And they get a lot more ammo on them. I think it's pretty nice. I think I'm gonna have some fun using these NFs. I definitely am going to try. Um, Right. NF Rocket, again, same change. N2 Browning, same change. Recon KCT Verkeners. They nerfed my boy. They nerfed my 4E. Oh no, they nerfed that as well. Oh no. Okay, I think I used it a tad bit too much and also showed everyone that it was a tad bit too much. Oh no. The changes have spoken. The changes have spoken. You no longer get two cards of these guys. M113, we salute you. A moment of silence for the M113 spam. You will never be forgotten. This thing got me a world record. I won 130 consecutive ranked games with this. This one piece of equipment with a broken autocannon on it won me 130 ranked games. You will be remembered, M113, forever. I will cherish you, I promise. Okay, so the M113 CNV got nerfed really bad. I mean, really badly. You know, availability cut in half. It was as if you took, like, imagine if you took all of these leopards and cut their availability in half. You know, big change. Um, Unfortunate, really, really unfortunate. This used to be so powerful. You get two cards of these guys, so you get eight of these guys, and you can just put them. You can put two on every road and just go. You can put two on every road, and you would win against BMP2s and autocannon fights. It was really funny, and they nerfed my boy here. So the 4E strat officially has been nerfed. It doesn't work good anymore. It doesn't work well anymore. It doesn't have any of that potency. You don't have your autocannons anymore. You don't have your KCTs anymore. It's been nerfed. Of course, obviously, right? It was really good. There were, however, hard counters. 4E does have some hard counters. Hard counters to 4E are like 20th Panzerna, for example, which get so many Serie ATs. Yeah, they get four of them. Which mean, and all of your tanks except for the 2A4Cs are one tap. And so a division like that has tanks to match you, 20th Panzerna, and also Serie ATs, or rather Su-22 ATs, or any type of AT plane that can one tap you. Um, it's a really dangerous thing to play against 4E. 20th Panzerna is highlighted because it gets the tank spam of 4E, just two times the availability, same quality, but it does it faster as well. So not only is 20th Panzerna out tanking you, they're also gonna be killing all of your tanks in the process. Apparently, I mean, most of the time you'll be outnumbered like 1 to 3. Like for every one Leopard that you have, you'll see three T-72s, and you also see like two AT planes. But hey, what can you do? So yeah, unfortunately, 4E is now in the grave. Salute to 4E. The Netherlands are no longer Netherlanding. What can you do? Belgium, Scorpion, stealth increase. No. No, 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 no. Okay. Alright. That's not good. I mean, it's Emnad, but that's not good. That is not good. I disagree with this heavily. I disagree with this heavily. I don't think this should be the case. Did they change this for everyone, or was it? I mean, okay, if it was a glitch and these guys were just bad stealth to mediocre, then it's fine. I thought they were already, everyone was already bad. Okay, if this is just changing it to match everyone else's, then that's fine. If it's not, then, whatever. Um, Leopard 1A5 BE price decreased. Good change. Like we said previously, 1A5s were underperforming. Now this is a different version of the 1A5. This is the Belgian version. Um, so as you can see here, look at this. So this one has less armor, but it's got a better gun. Slightly. It's got a slightly better gun, but it's got less armor. Um, that's basically the situation here. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, mm, yeah, I think it's a valid change. I think it's a valid change. 1A5s definitely should get buffed. They are underperforming at their price. F16 cluster renamed F16HE dash cluster. Leopard 1A5 command price decreased. Leopard 1 BE price decreased. Okay, so I think they changed the name of it. This used to be called. I think it used to be. No, wait, no, it used to be like this. All right. Essentially, it got buffed. Uh, nice change. Nice change. Very nice. The Belgians are now better. The problem with the Belgians is that they struggle. If you take a look at 16D Panzer Division, um, this division struggles a lot with anti-air. It's got no long-range AA, and all of its fighters are very bad. Not only are they not the same as 4Es or any type of other F-16 shotgun of America, they've got less accuracy. So they've got less accuracy. They don't have any long range missiles. They're just bad. I mean, they're fine, right? They're fine. They're not that good though. And coupled with the fact that you have non-existent long range radar AA, your tanks are gonna get one tapped by a lot, and I mean a lot of MiG 27s and a lot of SU 22s and stuff like that. Okay, moving on. Uh, Mirage rockets, base availability. That's nice. No one even used this. Pioneers, price decreased. Pioneers, price decreased. The Pioneer buff, I think it's pretty cool. think it's nice to see. Pioneer Command as well going down. M2 Browning change, like we just said previously. Mistral price increased. Good Mistral change, like we saw over there. Again, Mistral increase. Eclairs, renamed Recon Eclairs, not important. Recon Patrols, not important. Man Z311 Lodge base availability increased 69. Okay. Does that make sense? I'll be the judge of that. Ah, this, yeah. Well, 9 for 1K. Why? What? Isn't like the standard 6K? So you've got 4 of these guys, yeah. The standard is 6K. Like the Bedford matches. Look, the Bedford is 1000, they've got 6. And these guys in 16DE used to be 6 as well. Because they were 1K. So like the standard is 6000 per card. Now this is 9000. Why? Okay. I mean, doesn't make much sense to me, but hey, okay. Alright. Um, this might be a bit powerful now. Leopard 1A5B price card increased. Yeah, so that's why I noticed there was an abundance of Leopard 1 cards that there weren't there before, but I didn't want to comment on it. The Leopard 1A5 and the Leopard 1 cards, you get a lot more of them now. If you take a look. Uh, uh, yes, so uh, tank tab. Yeah, if you take a look now, look at how many Leopard 1 cards. Look at how many. Look at the Leopard 1s. You get 4. Leopard 1A5, you get 2. Luxembourg finally, and then we move on to Pact. M2 Browning change. Fusiliers price decrease. So this is the forward deploy in the 16th Panzer Division. This is a good change. The Fusiliers previously used to be pretty bad. Rover 1A1FC speed increased. Nice change. This is the Rover general change. Pact forces, finally. Command Tank T62 price decreased. Command T62 MDK price decreased. What am I looking at? Hold on. Hold on. Why are we buffing 56, yeah? The MK though, I think is the MK is fine, but why are we buffing 56? Yeah, the MK is like in KDA. Yeah, exactly. Okay, the KDA buff is welcome. Well, why are we buffing 56? Yeah, no reason. TO55 PKT added. Okay. Why are we buffing TO55s? Yeah, okay, no, this is too far gone now. We need to revert. We need to reverse. We need to stop where we are, and we need to nerf these guys. Okay? I use them too much for my own good. These guys are too good. These guys are severely overperforming. There's no reason for them to overperform this much. Tier 55 PKT added. MiG-27K81 price increased. MiG-27K82 price increased. So this is your nerf to 56, yeah. So you can see here. Why? What? Aha, okay. It makes slight sense, but not much. This is your nerf to 56, yeah. It's not enough, though. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's, what's it called? It's just not enough. It needs to get its BMP2s nerfed. We're targeting the wrong thing. Okay, it's like the air tab, yeah, the MiG-27Ks, they do need a nerf. That's great. But what are we doing about this? Like, what are we doing about this issue? Because this is an issue. Okay? Okay, wait. Did they remove a card of BMPs? Oh, they did. They did. They did. I think they did. Oh, they're so nice. But this is still an issue. So even if they remove the card of BMP2s, I think here in the infantry tab, this is still a very big problem. But hey, let's take a look at the patch notes. T10 TikTok fighter price increased 260 270. The T10K was overperforming. It used to fire two long range missiles at the same time. It still does, but that's why it was overperforming. So it got nerfed. That's good. SU-27S price increased 250 260. Finally, SU-27S nerf. Not enough though. It's not enough. 260 is not enough. You cannot you should not be allowed to buy an SU-27S per tick. It's too good. It's too good to be bought per tick. It's not comparable to an AIM-RAM Eagle, but it's too good to be purchased in one tick of income. Unlike the Eagle, there's the Sparrow Eagle doesn't consistently lose to the SU-27S, but doesn't also consistently win against the SU-27S. I'm just saying the SU-27S would be nice if it was like 265 points. 265 points. So that you need to save 5 points so that you can buy it. So there's a little bit more strategy involved when purchasing SU-27s instead of Ooga Booga. I click on SU-27S this minute. I get SU-27S this minute. Ooga Booga, now I go kill Eagle. That doesn't make much sense to me, and it shouldn't be possible. I say as a pact player. As someone who's played hundreds of games of 119, I say nerf the SU-27S. When I face against it, it's too good, and when I use it, I don't get the same luck, but that's just because I'm unlucky. But when I fight against it, it's really, really good. Because it is. It's a very solid fighter, and it should cost for that solidarity, for that solidity. Um, okay, the M2 Browning thing, except for now, this is the Soviet M2 Browning. Uh, Basically everything, all of this. Prisivniki militia trait added, militia trait. RPK replaced by RPK 74, doesn't really matter. Price, ooh, whoa, okay, 76 ya, 76 ya time. Okay, so 76 ya, I think it's 76 ya, it should be 76 ya, yeah it is. Um, this thing, it used to cost a lot of points. I think it is. Are we talking about the same unit? Yeah, we are. Um, this thing used to cost a lot more points when you take it in the BTRD. Now it costs a lot less. Now it's actually useful, except for the fact that the BTRD is still slow, so if you take it in the BTRD, you're losing out on, like, the surprise effect. And then if you take it in the Gauss, then you're losing out on the armor and the punishing effect, so it's a lose-lose, whatever transport you take. But hey, you know, it's good. It used to be mega expensive to the point where you'd inflate the economy by just buying one of them. But hey, now that's no longer the case. Okrana militia added, militia trait. Spetsnaz Sniperi based availability increased. So this is the sniper buff that I was talking about. This is really nice to see. Snipers need to be represented more. Nona health points decreased. This is acceptable. That mortar is the size of like a man, so you know it should be this way. Yatsinth B 152 millimeter suppressed damage decreased. Okay. 152 millimeter again, suppressed damage decreased. Musta price decreased. Okay. M240 cluster renamed M240. What? Yo, TOS Buratino buff. Yo, it's time to celebrate. It's still useless. It got buffed though. Guys, don't worry. We'll just have to wait like another 3 months for another Buratino buff when they finally give it to us. Oh no, the Buratino is severely unrepresented, and it's no one uses it because it's so bad. It reloads like the game ends by the time that you've reloaded this once, and also costs an insane amount to reload. But you know what can you do? I guess. Um, and I want to see the M240. Why is it? Why has it been? Aha, HE cluster. Aha. Okay, so this is an HE, and this is an HE cluster. Hopefully, okay. Hopefully, this can no longer target vehicles. Although I'm willing to differ. I am very much willing to differ. I'm pretty sure this still can target vehicles and tanks. Um, TOS1 Buratino, like we said, BTR 70 Commendatura price decreased. This is nice to see. It's nice to see Commendaturas more represented. Zenit Trick trait airborne added forward deployment trait. Okay, so this is your this is the vehicle that you would get in the Igla in 76, yeah. So if you go to 76, yeah, and here, see this? So this is what we were talking about. Now it's got the airborne trait. Um, yeah, I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty nice. That's pretty nice to have. Although I'm pretty sure like it would already get the forward deployment in the Igla, but you know, whatever, doesn't matter. Um, where were we? We were here. This ADGM price availability, base availability increased 5 to 7. That's nice to see. Although now you've got a possible double vet situation where you can double vet this guy and then use him in your opener. 76 yeah has been slightly buffed. Everybody celebrate. Ural 76 is actually not OP. A lot of people think it is, but I don't think it is. 56 and 35th VDV are OP, but 76 not that much. It's pretty. It's not that good. KS30 130. Excuse me. Base availability increased 4 to 5. Aircraft weapon range increased this much. So this is your this is this thing. Yeah, this thing. Hey, I mean, that's great, right? Pretty sure no one's going to use it anyway. But hey, at least it's yeah. I mean, that's great. No one's gonna be using it, but that's great. I'm not sure exactly how 4 men are moving this at a speed of 9 kilometers per hour, but good on them. Um, Moving on. Tunguska helicopter weapon range increased. Nice. This is... Whoa. Wasn't it like... You're lying to me. Ah, it's on this weapon. Yeah, 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 yeah. I was like... I can swear like the Tunguska had 3,000... 3,000 range against helicopters. And yes, it does. We were talking about this. This is a really good change, actually. I'm so happy for this. This gun used to not be able to target actual helicopters in its range. Um, Now it can. And I think this is super good. I think this is a really good change. I love this. 27 yeah. Radeka Sapri added MI to strength production. Not really important. No one's going to be using them anyway. HE cluster base veterancy decreased. This is nice. And they no longer reload at the speed of light. Base veterancy decreased again. Yep. Change 1 point in slot into 1 3 points. Nice. Change 1 point lodge into 1 2 point. No. No. You can't do me like that. Just when 79th was getting recognition. You can't do me like that. No. It's over. Pack tank divs, it's over. Guys, it's over. 79th no longer gets OSAs. It's just, it's now just really bad. Like, where do you even get the OSA now then? Just in 30... Bro. Okay. Why? Like, I don't get this. It shouldn't it be the case that we should try to make this game as diverse as possible in the terms of units? Why do we have an OSA if it's only gonna be in 3 different divisions? The worst part, for every one of those divisions, it has a different variant for some reason. We've got a different variant for every division. I mean, I know the reason. It's because of the different countries. But, like, why? I don't get this at all. This is so sad to see. I think this is really sad. Okay. Moving on. Stabilizer increased on the PT-76s. Will that make people use them more? No. Do I use them anyway? Yes, because you have to use them, you don't get an option. T-34, side armor increased 3 to 4, rear 2 to 3, speed decreased, stabilizer decreased, weapon PKT replaced. This is important. This isn't important because it never used it anyway. This is not important. This makes it so that you are now slow, unluckily. And this doesn't matter anyway because you're a T-34. So just overlook this. You've got IS-2s. If you want to spam World War II equipment, go spam IS-2s. It's in a DLC division, but that doesn't matter. T-54 AMK price decreased, good change. T-54 price increased, good change. T-55 price decreased, bad change. Why? T-72MK price increased, good change. T-72M, yo, 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 oh, 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 look at that, look at that, oh my god. T-72s are nerfed. It's over, finally, the T-72 meta. Oh god, look at that. I'm so happy with what I'm seeing. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. Why are these guys still 140? Whoa! Whoa! What? You're telling me I pay like 25 more points for a smoke and a resolute trait? That doesn't make sense. Okay, so 20th Panzerna is still OP. Okay. They overlooked this severely. 20th Panzerna is a really, really good T-72 division. It's a really, really good T-72 division. Because, look at it. Just take a look at it here. You've got honkers that you can spam, and then look at your tank tab. Of course, the T-72M1s, they got nerfed to a bajillion, but they're still useful. And funnily enough, when I play 20th Panzerna, I don't use these guys. I do this instead. Now, of course, later on into the game, you start bringing out these guys, so it definitely is a nerf. However, what about these guys? What about us? What about us? Like, what is this? Why is this guy this? He should be 165. He should be 165, you know? Doesn't make much sense. But, everyone, it's time to celebrate. The T-72s are officially gone. No more are we gonna get bullied by 16 armor, resolute smoke, 19 pen, 160 points. Used to be 155 for some unknown reason. This is still in the game though. And I've actually been playing Rugenair quite a lot in ranked recently. I've been playing quite a lot of Rugenair. This strategy on double vet, you get 3 of them. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It deserves to be seen. What I did in Rugenair, I mean, here's 7th Panzer, so you can see it. What you do is you do this, and you do this. This is what you do, and then, of course, you build the rest of your tank tab. Like that. And in Rugenair, you do this. This is what you do in Rugenair. So this is what you do in Rugenair. And it's really powerful. Of course, now Rugenair is not that good of a division, but it's pretty fine. It does actually pretty well. Right, okay. So the T-72's got nerfed, so it's time to celebrate. PKT on the TO-55. L-39s got nerfed in price, but buffed in availability, so that's nice to see. I agree with this completely. MF, HE decreased. This is a beautiful change. This is beautiful. This used to cost 275 points. You used to save 15 points up for an MF, which is like really powerful, but no. Why? MiG-29 renamed, not important. Grenzer Flam price decreased. This is nice to see. These guys are pretty unrepresented nowadays. They used to be used back in the day, but no longer. And so this is pretty nice to see. Hopefully they get used a bit more. M2 Browning price decreased. KDA Fuhrer decreased. That's nice to see. KDA Schützen Militia added. Militia added. AK-74 replaced by AK-74N. Doesn't matter. Aufklär Militia trait. Scharfschütze, so the sniper buff that we were talking about. That's very nice to see. Vaposphere price decreased, militia trait added. So it's nice to see that these KDA commanders and German commanders in general, they're getting buffed, and I mean militia trait added. You know, that's just a side effect. Vapos trait militia added. Nice to see. 152 millimeter suppressed damage. So this is like the change to 152 millimeter guns. Pack this 257 millimeter health points increased 2 to 3. Price decreased 30 to 25. So I think they're trying to put like a bit of more of a spotlight onto these Zis guns. I don't think people are gonna use them anyway. We're fighting World War III. We're not playing World War II. You know, I don't think people want to use them anyway, just because of the way that they're made. They're also pretty much glitched to the point where if something is traveling horizontally to you, like parallel to you but horizontally, um, you cannot lock on it. So if something is moving, let's say from here, from point A to point B, and you're a pack gun here, if they're fast enough, if they're fast, of course, if the range is big, then you can. If the range is small, though, you cannot. So if they're like here, like you're passing in front of you, and you are here, and they're here, and they go from A to B, you will constantly keep turning slowly to them and will never shoot. So, you know, do what you want. Ural, health points increased. Flak KS, 100mm. Base availability increased 4 to 6. Aircraft. Pretty sure I used this, though. I'm pretty sure I used it, though. This. No, no, okay, I don't use this. I don't use this. It's in Rugenair. I don't use this in Rugenair, though. In Rugenair, I'll tell you which SP spag gun I use in Rugenair. In Rugenair, I use this. This is what I use. This is really good. This, I do this, and then I do this. And this. This is what I do in my Rugenair. I probably should double with this Shoka, actually. But this is what I do in Rugenair. And it's really good. Like, it's really good. This is what I do for Rugenair. And you've got two of these guys like this, and this is really good. And then you've got this guy as well. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Rugenair is AA tab. Yeah, nice to see. Flat ZPU 4. Okay, price increase. So that's good to see. That's good to see. We put some light onto this. This was pretty powerful. ASU 85 price decreased, stealth increased. That's, you know, your normal. This is your like your Kampfpanzer essentially, just packed equivalent. Beretti Topaz Yods in speed increase. Topaz SPG 9, so the Topaz speed increase. Okay. Renaming some of these commands, and then the command price decreased, stabilizer increased 10% to 25. So this is in your in Corpus de Centauri. Stabilizer increased on all the PT-76s. We already went through this. T-55 AMD Merida price decreased. Absolutely no reason for that. It needs to be increased, not decreased. T-72MD price decreased. Price increased. I'm confused. Explain. Ah, this. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. T72M1 price increased. Very good change. Wilk price increased. Very good change. Salamandra price decreased. That's bad. That's gonna get spammed now. That's unfortunate. MI24D price increase. That's good. It was kind of overperforming. MI24 dub. What? So why do you increase the price of the D, but then decrease the W? The W is the good one. The D is the bad one, but the bad one was overperforming. That doesn't make any sense. What? Look at this. Yeah. So this one. No, this one. What? Why'd you nerf this guy? What did this guy do? This guy's horrible. This guy's the problem. What? They nerfed this guy, but not this guy. But this guy's the problem. This guy's bad. No one uses this guy. He's got 128 S5 rockets. No one likes S5s. This doesn't make any sense. What? They nerfed the wrong guy. Innocent bystander. What? What did he do? He didn't do anything. And then this guy is, yeah, this guy, MI24W. So this guy's the problem, but this guy got buffed. And so now, apparently, for just 10 points more, this is the difference. For 10 points more, you get 2 times more missiles. They are cock-ons, and then you also get S8s, which are a lot better than S5s. For only 10 points more, which makes 0 sense in my opinion, but be that as it may. Okay. MiG-23 MF, base availability increased. Good change. The MF is severely underperforming. It's got the worst R-24 missile, and it's got an R-60, so it's just very bad. So this is a good change. MiG-23 MF AA2, price decreased. Good change. Availability increased. Good change. Strela, base availability increased. Good change. Strelas are underperforming. Descent Strela 2M, price increased. Base availability increased. I don't like it. I don't like it. Why? We don't need to be doing this. ROSP Specjalny, price increased. Very much needed. 20th Panzerna was overperforming. It's been nerfed now, so it's not as good, but it's still pretty good. GSR increased, so this is because you could take 2 cards of all of these guys, and then you just then you triple vet them, you put them in a honker wrist, and then you get insane honkers. But yeah, so it's good now. That's good. Descent Sniper, so base availability increase, so this is what we were talking about. Sniper increase. 152 suppression damage increase, so that's what we also said. WP8Z, it's kind of funny to see this mentioned. So this is this thing. This thing can actually smoke, if you didn't know. This 8 rockets can actually be used as a smoke warfare, as they would say. Yeah, you can throw smoke at 10k kilometers range as rocket missiles somehow. You know, and reload in 40 seconds as well. On double that, it gets even worse. But yeah, this thing is pretty fun. I don't use it because you don't get a chance to, but it's pretty funny. You should try to smoke with it once. 82mm airborne trait, so this is a mortar. Honker wrist, price increased. Good honker nerf. This and this change were needed. That's definitely, I'm very satisfied with that, even though I do play 20.7 myself. I do think it was needed. Topaz 2 AP speed increase, so this is a Topaz speed increase. Topaz speed increase. Scott 2 price decreased. Yeah, I think no one was using this because it's a Scott 2 with a Malyutka on it. No one's using that. So this is good. Recon OT65, so this is the unarmed version of the scout that comes with a scout. Speed decreased, that doesn't really matter much. Recon Saperzi, can't pronounce. Added MI2P, so that's the same thing that we saw over there, like the Razvedka Saperi getting an MI2 thingy. Here it is. I don't know why they're trying to do that. Like, that doesn't really make much sense to me. The MI2s are bad. They get one tapped by anything. And if you think about it, in the modern meta, most people are playing 2nd UK or 56 or something like that. And so you're just gonna get stopped by one of those stiggers. That's forward deploy. Okay, and you've got Corpus Descentore, last change. Oh wait, we forgot this. Added SU-20 cluster. Didn't it already used to get an SU-20 cluster? Or was that cluster just in Corpus? No, it's Rugonair. Oh, this. This. Okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. You're gonna have to test that out, though. I don't even use it in Rugonair. My Rugonair tab is built a bit different. The Rugonair, the one that you want to be using in Rugonair is the SU-22 M4 cluster. This thing is really powerful, and it one-taps heavy tanks. If you're like, it one-taps heavy tanks like 70% of the time. So yeah, um, this is really good. Use it. And so the SU-20 is like a continuation of that goodness with even more bombs. However, I'm pretty sure it's high altitude, so it is dodgeable. So therefore, it's kind of useless unless you've got a million bombs like the SU-24 cluster. This thing is basically undodgeable because these bombs are like mini nukes, and even if you do dodge it, because it's got 15 penetration, it instantly wipes you off the map, even if you have, because it's got 8 of these 15 mini nukes. That's basically, yes, you're 24 for you. Um, Recon, so this we said, changed one 3-point air into one 2-point air. This is a good change for this mechanism, and it has issues dealing with heavy tanks, and so this is a good change, and this is a good change. Beretti's Strela based veterancy decreased and added one air point RT slot. That's not going to change much. No one's even going to use artillery. But that's basically it for this entire patch note. I am so excited to jump straight into ranked and play all of this. I hope you enjoyed this dev blog. If you want, or rather patch note reading session, if you want to see more of this, please do make sure to leave a like down below and consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot and I really appreciate it. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See you soon, Commanders.